Welcome to the Couch Coaches podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Creative Hustler, and I'm here with my esteemed colleague,
Top Gun.
Top Gun with the double N. Yes.
Named after the gayest movie in the world.
Indeed. We provide sometimes weekly or sometimes monthly. Sometimes we just record whenever we please. Podcast of football, irreverent football chat and banter. Plus, throw in some TV and a bit of film, and voila, we have the Couch Coaches. We are called this because we're a bit arrogant and we think we know best, but we just sit on our couch and judge everyone because that's how
No, you think you know best.
But that's just how we roll.
I just agree.
Yeah, you're like Phil Neal.
Yeah, that's right, boss. Yeah, boss. That's right, boss. Bring variety on. That's right, boss. Bring variety on.
And that would
make variety to score, isn't it? Make variety, yeah, variety to score.
So that would make me Graham Taylor.
So yeah, see, look, people slag Phil Neal off, but what they don't realise, being a Liverpool supporter, what people don't realise is Phil Neal, he won everything you could win at club level.
And there is an example of the bias we will show in this podcast. A Liverpool fan and a Tottenham fan.
The guy played at the top level, won multiple Premier Leagues, at least 3 European Cups, FA Cups. Played at the top level for about 10 years. But as an assistant manager, let's be honest, he was awful.
Yes, indeed.
And we won't even go into his managership. I think he managed Bolton and Man City both for about 30 days.
30 days. Well, that's longer than Sam Allardyce. Baboom!
He had a great perm, though. Phil Neal, not Sam Allardyce. So Sam Allardyce with a perm, I'm sure that's something we should all see.
Anything to give him some kind of personality.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's in my original 1983 Panini sticker album.
1983. Okay, he's showing his age there.
I forgot you was how did you win one?
I was one. Yeah, I was one in '83.
But you completed that album.
Oh yeah, I did from my crib.
The craziest thing is with those sticker albums was no matter how many times I brought you back, I would end up with Pat Van and Howe when he played for Everton. I ended up with about 20 Pat Van and Howe swapsies.
Okay, this is some serious nostalgia. Wow.
And he ended up playing for you guys.
I do remember he actually was in our FA Cup winning team of '91.
Yeah.
One of the few Tottenham players of the last 25 years who's actually won something.
Yeah.
That's damning.
And also, he won the heart of Mandy Smith, the ex-wife of Bill Wyman from the Rolling Stones.
That's commendable.
Yeah, see, look, I'm a man who knows too much.
Crikey, already. This is just how we're going to be from here on out. So strap yourself in and enjoy the ride.
So where would you like to start, Fraser?
Okay, Mr. Gunn, I'm going to start with a little retrospective World Cup nostalgia piece. I mean, say nostalgia is 3 weeks ago, but it feels like longer.
Yeah.
Feels like
there should be a new one right now. It feels like 4 years ago that it all ended.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I quite enjoyed the whole shenanigan.
Yeah, I'd actually put it down as, I've watched World Cups since the first one I watched was 1982. When I was
that was the best one.
And had the best Brazil team: Zico, Socrates, Junior, Josimar. But I would say on a pure football level and entertainment level, actually, I'd say that's the best World Cup I've seen myself in my lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, there's only other 2 World Cups in my lifetime that I can remember. Where the 2006 in Germany.
That was a good one. Yeah.
That was a good one, and '98 in France.
What about 1990?
Oh, for drama and just the whole sort of last World Cup of like purity before the money came in, before the internet.
Yeah.
It was that was incredible. That was when I fell in love with football, really.
But the football I remember actually wasn't, because I just finished my GCSEs that year, I remember.
Yeah.
And so that summer, I was like deciding what to do with whether to go on to do A-levels or something. And so I just watched every single game of that World Cup, and which I've done every single 4 years since 1990.
Yeah.
And so a bit like you, that's when I was always in love with football. But that's when I was like become a football addict.
Yeah.
To be honest, at all levels. So I was always a Liverpool addict. I was started getting into international football massively as well. And I think the 1990 World Cup. I think because we got to the semis and the whole thing with Gazza and Bobby Robson's final England games. I hold special memories, but I remember the football actually wasn't that great. Yeah, it was.
So few goals, like whereas France '98 was the most goals.
Yeah. And of course, France '98, you had the goal. That was the only. I think was that the only time when you had the golden goal.
I think not in 2002. I think
2002. Yeah, you're right. Actually, 2002. Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
Golden goal. What a bad idea.
That got nixed pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, teams just defended, didn't they? Teams were like, oh, right, it's gone into extra time. I don't want to risk going forward because of the golden goal, so I'll just defend and play for penalties.
Yes, I don't know, FIFA, I think they just get bored every 4 years and try and come up with some shit to make it, quote unquote, more interesting, more entertaining.
So what was your favourite moment of this World Cup?
I quite enjoyed the Japan Belgium game. I thought the second half was incredible.
How unlucky would you? I mean, if only Japan, they must have been singing that De La Soul song to themselves when they were 2-0 up. I wish it was a little bit tall.
Oh, Skilo, sorry, hip hop head. Correction here. Skilo, yeah. 3 was not the magic number. If we're going to quote De La Soul, it was a magic number for Belgium.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But watching that game, it really was the case, wasn't it? Of like, why didn't Belgium just start with those tactics? Okay, Japan are really good technically, but basically their tallest player is 4'1". So why don't we just hump it long? Why don't we just pick Fellaini from the start with Lukaku up front and just throw high balls into the box because we're going to win every knockdown and every second ball.
Yeah, actually.
And the Belgium probably would have been 10-0 up at half time because Japan were just like, oh no, they've realised we're midgets. Do you know what I mean?
As the couch coach,
I'm so sorry
for tactics. That as a couch coach, yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Actually, you know what? When they were preparing Chadley and Fellaini to come on, I was like, really? That's what you have? 2 fucking substandard. This is what you have to throw on to save the day, and they actually really saved the fucking day.
Well, the irony was this Martinez, who I think is a bit of a
enigma.
I think I'm trying to find a nice word. Storm, maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to find a nice word about him. I think it's a bit of a charlatan, Martinez, as a coach.
I think so too.
Yeah, everyone thinks he's this kind of coaching genius, but because he won the FA Cup with Wigan, but they got relegated. He got Everton 5th, and then he nearly got them relegated. And there he is with like the most, the greatest generation of Belgian international
Hazard and De Bruyne.
Hazard, De Bruyne, Dembele, Alderweireld,
Vertonghen's header.
Lukaku,
Mertens. Oh my God.
Basically, that entire team 1-11.
That Vertonghen header was amazing.
Was the best team in the World Cup. And so here's Martinez, and they were going, tactically he's so great. Well, no, not really, because all he did when they were starting to lose, when they were losing that Japan game, what he did was he reverted to the Jose Mourinho tactics, which is basically bring on Fellaini and hump it up long.
Yeah, and boy did it work. But however, if it wasn't for that Vertonghen header, which was pretty special, it was an amazing.
Was he trying to do that?
Out of the blue. Yeah, I believe he was.
Do you think he was trying to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the commentators think that, but
I think so. I've watched Vertonghen season in, season out for a long time, and he's a top-notch player. I wouldn't put it past him.
Didn't he used to play for Arsenal?
Oi.
No, did he used to play for Arsenal?
No, he almost went there. He was with Ajax before.
Oh, sorry. Who's that other? I can't pronounce his name. The Belgian guy who plays at Barcelona.
Oh, Vermaelen.
Vermaelen, sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry.
Vermaelen
and Vertonghen always get mixed up. Both Belgium centre-backs.
Both white Belgium centre-backs. I can see how that works. Whereas Company looks like Mars Attacks.
Great.
It's a great film.
It is a brilliant film.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the cinema.
Good old.
Well, so that was your game of the
I'm
tournament.
just trying to remember. Was there anything else that came close? France games were kind of boring, even though they won the whole thing.
Yeah, I I felt for Croatia in that final because France that first half were basically gifted 2 goals by the wrong kind of refereeing and technology,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and use of it. I actually think VAR 90-95% of the time worked really well.
yeah.
But that was a case of where
It
it
was
didn't work
harsh.
at all.
It was so harsh. And
Yeah, well,
they were the
it's quite
second
simply
best
not
at
penalty.
that point.
The ref, I think VAR worked best when the ref wasn't sure, and then he'd look at it, and he got it in his ear, go and take a look, and he's like, I'm not sure I know. But that ref was blatantly, no, there's no penalty, play on. Then I think the minute they're told, oh, you need to go and have a look, they then know, oh shit, well, I'm going to have to change the decision, whatever it looks like, because I'm being told to have a look. And I think that's what kind of needs to be worked out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it came. You got to be 100% in the World Cup
You've
final.
got to be a strong ref as
You've
well.
got
You've
to
got to be
be.
a strong ref because if you don't think that's a penalty and you have a look and it's still not blatant, then just stick to your decision.
Yeah, I mean, Croatia were all over them. They were really outplaying them in that first half, and that just really sucked.
I think if Croatia would have gone into
level,
the lead,
they could have. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Croatia would have gone into the lead at half time, I think they would have won that final, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of games high on drama, last minute drama, shenanigans, and such. I quite enjoyed. Argentina was like an old school game, playground game. I mean, the way Argentina defended was fucking laughable through the whole tournament.
They're abysmal defensively. So bad.
Yeah.
What? 4-1 and then 4-2.
Yeah.
Then they had a chance, didn't they? The very last second of victory time to make it 4-all.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. And they didn't start Aguero. There's a lot of weird decisions with that Argentina team. And seeing Maradona act like he was possessed by the devil after they and swearing and shouting "puto," which means
and the whole thing he said after being going to Colombia again, that Colombia were absolutely robbed and cheated. It's like, what?
Absolute bollocks.
Colombia should have had only 6 players on the pitch after 90 minutes.
They were outrageously dirty in that game. I was in a WhatsApp group in which I was ambushed by sanctimonious, self-obsessed Liverpool fans. And I was just like Maradona.
There's a few of us, me included.
Yeah. But you're like the acceptable side of that whole conundrum.
It's all right. We feel the same about Spurs.
That's what I like to hear. And they were like talking about Maradona like he's some sort of football deity as far as his interviews. Like he like talks so much sense and he's very knowledgeable. And I'm like,
he's a clown.
He's a cheating cokehead, really, who's trying to convince people that he's like some sort of reformed fucking Socrates. I mean, not the footballer.
I prefer him as this kind of complete nutcase, and I think it'd be better if he just admits he's this complete nutcase.
Yeah.
It's because you always get the idea you could make a TV series out of him, like Breaking Bad. Instead of Heisenberg, it's Maradona. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a character. I mean,
instead of a football coach breaks bad and ends up becoming Maradona.
I would watch that.
Yeah, But I mean, as a footballer,
he was genius.
He was amazing. Best footballer I've ever seen, as in my lifetime. I think country mile, to be honest.
Ooh, I don't know. Zidane and Messi, pretty close, I would say.
I'm one of these people with Messi who think, at club level, he's been absolutely amazing. But when people say, who would you rather have, Messi or Ronaldo? I'd always pick Ronaldo because, Messi, you can't argue with his stats and what he's done at club level. But for me, Ronaldo has played in 3 different leagues, 4 leagues now with Italy. He's won in every single one of those leagues. He won in Portugal. He won in England, of course, with United. And he went over to Spain and did it with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And then he's also won single-handedly carried Portugal to semi-finals and actually winning the European Championship in 2016. Now, you compare that with Messi, and Messi has always played for Barcelona. He's always played for a team which has basically had, at any given moment, at least 6 or 7 of the world's best players in that position.
Yeah.
Surrounding him. And I'm not saying, we don't know what he's like until he plays against
Stoke on a Wednesday night.
On a cold Wednesday night, and Ryan Shawcross gives him a 2-footed lunge. We don't really know what he's like. Of course he's a world-class player, but simultaneously, he hasn't tested himself. He's remained in his comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real shame for someone with that, who's that world-class, who's that good to do that, because Ronaldo constantly has tested himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's different.
Zidane played in Italy, in France, and in Spain. Maradona single-handedly took Napoli from nowhere to Serie A champions, like 2 years in a row. So, do you know what I mean? Those very top players are all just named. They all tested themselves, bar Messi, who remained in a comfort zone. And in a way, you can say, well, it's a lot to be admired because he's played for the same club. How many players these days are one club?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could say it's a lot to be admired, but his stats are probably the best. But I think what he's achieved by just staying at that one club compared to what the others, who we name checked, had achieved by going to different clubs, I think they're better. For me, they're just a little bit better.
Yeah, you make a very fair point. I mean, everybody points at Messi's form with Argentina as is like the stick to beat him with. But I mean, his surrounding cast has been pretty bad. The managerial situation, just the whole FA.
Look at Maradona's surrounding cast in '86
was better. They at least had a defence. I mean, Argentina.
Yeah, but simultaneously he dragged them twice to the final.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I'd say Maradona really in our lifetime.
Definitely.
He's just such a twat.
Yeah, unfortunately, as a person, But as I said, I think he is quite comedy though.
Oh yeah, comedy value's high. I mean, my friends in this WhatsApp group were saying that the media, misquotes him and paints him in a dark light, but he's just plain nuts. That's.
He's playing. He's just nuts, and people should just enjoy the nuts.
Enjoy the nuts.
Don't try and defend what is indefensible.
True that. True, indeed. So, Mr. Top Gun, what was your favourite moment of the World Cup?
The most ironic. My favourite game would have been that Spain-Portugal.
That's the other game. It was amazing. That was the one I was trying to think of.
That was the second day of the World Cup, and that was the evening game.
It caught my attention.
That really lifted the World Cup from, because the first game, I think.
I didn't even watch it. Didn't bother.
Well, Russia beat Saudi Arabia 5-0, didn't they?
There was some classy goals in that, actually.
Yeah, some really good goals, but Saudi Arabia. But to actually see, when Spain went to play Portugal, leading up to it, the build-up and stuff, I thought, this is going to be a cautious, cagey.
The build-up, though, how
0-0, 1-1 maybe, and
so
I think it kind of set the precedent of what this tournament was going to be, which is even the top sides weren't going to play cagey; they were just going to go for it. Yeah. And that game, I think, kind of summed that up. So that was my favourite game. Watching England win on penalties finally in the World Cup was great, though the crazy nationalism over here when we got through to the quarters and then semis. I mean, I thought reading the national papers and talking to people who suddenly were calling me up who never watched football in their lives, and they couldn't go, "Oh, you're going to watch the football? Where are you going to watch it?" I'm like, "What? You don't even support a club. You never watch football. What's going on?" and I have no problem with that.
That always happens.
I don't have a massive problem with that if they're going to keep watching football. But like the minute England lost, I said, "Oh, so you're going to watch the final, the third place match?" "Oh, no, I won't be watching any more of the football again." It's like that has nothing to do with football. That's to do with weird nationalistic pride which I think can be a bit dangerous because you look at some of the newspapers, and I thought we were going to war on the day of that semi-final. Seriously, it was like the national firm. I thought it was so right. It's bizarre. I was like, fucking hell, it's Winston Churchill.
Yes, it's a sign of the it's a sign of the times. Just
I thought Gareth Southgate was manager. I didn't know it's Winston Churchill. Jesus Christ. It was crazy nationalism. Sort of with people who really it has nothing to do with them watching football. It's to do with them wanting to support the nation. Come on.
yeah.
That's pretty unhealthy kind of outlet to have, I think.
I think so too, definitely.
So that really annoyed me, which was difficult because I was so pleased to see England doing well, and I was pleased to see, Southgate earn his management chops really to actually prove what I thought for ages, that a good international manager isn't really a manager. It's about being a coach, because at international level you're not buying and selling players.
Mm-hmm.
It's about coaching a team. And I always think the best international coaches for us, for England, have always been people who have played at international level. So like Southgate, Venables, Hoddle, Bobby Robson, they were all seasoned internationals as players, and so they could understand the step up from club level to international level. So it's not really about management; it's about one-on-one coaching, I think, at that kind of level. So that's why I think it was nice to see Southgate do well.
Yeah. I mean, seeing how the last tournament finished, and it was. I think everyone had given up on England at that point, and he's restored some pride, to say the least.
Yeah, which is good, and I think that's good when people are watching it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And they feel pride in the team's performance, and I'm glad they didn't do a fanfare of having people celebrating because we got to the semis, because stuff like that's embarrassing.
Yeah, and the whole "It's Coming Home" thing. What did you make of that?
Well, I've always liked that song. So
that was a classic. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did like that, but I think you can always tell who the football fans are and who are just, i.e., if England do well in the World Cup in cricket next summer,
mm-hmm.
the same thing will happen. Do you know what I mean? I think because of the state of the country, I won't go into politics.
Yeah, we're keeping off politics on the couch coaches.
I think because of the state of the country, I think people just look for anything to kind of give themselves a bit of nationalistic pride.
Yeah.
But, if it's for the wrong reasons, which I think started happening in football, then it's not good. But yeah, I mean, coming home, football's coming home and stuff. Yeah, it's a good song, and it's.
Yeah, I think the outside forces interpreted it as some arrogance, like it's coming home to where the game began. This game is ours, and it's coming back to its rightful home.
I think ultimately the whole media thing and the nationalism and stuff like that, everyone going over the top with it, it created a problem for us in the semi-final because that really motivated Croatia.
Yeah, I remember what Modric said afterwards.
Yeah, and you can tell.
Spot on.
Yeah, you can tell before they came out, their manager would have been in that dressing room putting out press clippings or little sound bites that people have been saying back in this country. And I think it motivated them massively.
Mm.
But yeah, I was really pleased with England, pleased with Southgate. Said favourite game, Portugal, Spain.
Yeah.
Most ironic moment was a Man United supporter I know texting me to say, "God, Jordan Hender's actually good, isn't he?"
Yeah, it's funny. People sort of put their club biases behind when it comes to England.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Well, there are even Liverpool supporters I know were unsure about Jordan Henderson, texting me going, "Oh yeah, I can see what you mean about Henderson now. Yeah, he's actually decent. Yeah, you don't get to Champions League final, that'll be decent."
Yeah. It's the sanctimonious Liverpool supporting friend of mine. He was like saying how Henderson should be captain, and how Kane had a poor World Cup, and he's similar to the Russian guy who in World Cup '94 got the golden boot, and no one will remember that. I was like, wow.
It's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't think Kane was fit from the quarterfinals onwards.
I think that Colombia game,
kicked out. I think he got kicked 10
the
lumps
Colombia
out
game took it out of him, certainly.
Yeah, because you could tell they really kicked they were trying to kick him off the pitch.
Yeah, and he was also like, he wasn't playing his normal sort of number 9 role. He was dropping deep.
Yeah, and I think he got more withdrawn in the quarters and semis. And I think it's because he wasn't fully fit. Because the chance he had at 1-0 against Croatia, which I think that goes in, we go on to the World Cup final. 2-0 up, Croatia on.
If they had reviewed that on VAR, they would have overturned the decision, wouldn't they? Because they flagged it offside eventually, didn't they?
No. It was... No.
The flag was really late, is what I remember.
No, it wasn't on the initial fin. Because he wasn't offside on the initial fin. It was actually... the flag had gone up for a goal kick because when he then hit it, and then hit the post and then went over the crossbar, didn't it, kind of thing, skimmed the crossbar.
Oh yeah, no, that was a good. The Croatian guy got back in time and actually skimmed his boot. Yeah. So it's the initial chance if that went in.
The initial chance, he was actually onside, so he would have been all
right. And my friend was like, he should have passed it to Sterling. And I'm like, Sterling has got the least.
I wouldn't pass AIDS to Sterling.
Yeah, there was a lot of flagrant defence of Sterling from my WhatsApp group, and I was unbelievably shocked.
He's the biggest football master I've ever seen.
He does wonderfully well in a team funded by Qatar's abundant oil money.
He's the new Andy Cole. He needs he's the new Andy Cole. If you put him in a team that creates 100 chances a game, of course he's going to get 20, 30 goals and about 15 assists.
Yeah.
But you put him at international level where you may only get 1 or 2 chances a game. No, it's not good enough. Same. Andy Cole's the same. He played for a Man United team that would create like 30 chances a game. So he'd miss 28 and score 2, wouldn't he?
Agreed. There's some weird people in my WhatsApp group. I didn't actually ask to be in the group. I was just like, okay, let's see how this goes.
What is it in WhatsApp groups?
Oh, I hate them.
People just do people just do WhatsApp groups for anything now. It's like a friend of mine did a WhatsApp group just for going to the cinema.
What the fuck?
WhatsApp group just for the cinema. It's like, what are you talking about? This is all arranged. They create a group with 3 or 4 people just like going to the cinema. That's
ridiculous. I am staying in my Spurs WhatsApp group because we need to cry on our shoulders when the inevitable crushing disappointment.
That's understandable. When it's just going out someplace.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
People doing, what's next? Oh, WhatsApp group for having a shit. Everyone WhatsApps each other.
What are you using? Quilted toilet roll?
Yeah. What kind of toilet roll? Oh yeah, I've got to send a photo of what I just did here.
Oh, this crazy world we live in. Fuck a duck.
What next? It's like Facebook, because I took myself off Facebook years
ago.
Good
man. Yeah.
I took myself off Facebook back in
2009 or 10.
And it's like people, because it just got ridiculous. There's just people on Facebook just going, "Oh, I've just had the most amazing glass of water."
And you got out before the data mining scandal. You done well.
I don't even know what that means. And other stuff like, oh wow, I just brought a new nail file and I just filed my nails. Amazing. Okay, these were things I was putting down about myself, but no. It's just. Anyway,
okay, I'm trying to think of a segue out of this.
Sorry, yeah. So World Cup. So
let's go back to the World Cup. Yeah.
So we could move from the World Cup actually into one of our side segments.
We could do that. We could do that.
Moaning for a loaning.
Who is loaning for a moaning?
Who's moaning for a loaning this week, Crazy Bustler?
Well, this is a new segment on our new show about multi-million-pound footballers with Liberia's deficit in their pocket, bitching about being injured and not playing, and they agitate for a move so they can actually get off their asses and do what they're paid to do.
So Coutinho, anyone? No. Who's moaning for a loan in? Who's moaning for a loan in at Spurs? Do you think?
Ooh, it's a good question. We do have some deadwood that needs shifting. I'm just trying to see.
Are there some players there who would be happy sitting on the bench?
Let me see. Let me see.
Are there some Winston Bogart players
there? And we run a disciplined ship. I think there's a young core of players, and I think Marcus Edwards was the last one who was moaning for a loan-in.
Oh right, yeah, your young player.
Yeah, Pochettino put a fuckload of pressure on him by calling him the new Messi. Probably not a good idea in retrospect.
He's moaning for a loan.
And he did get a loan. He got his wish when he went to Norwich, and he got 5 minutes of a substitute appearance before he got sent back for being continually late and having a shit attitude.
Oh God, was that last season?
Yeah, the second half of last season.
Oh, God. And is he moaning for a loan in at the moment?
He is currently missing in action. He wasn't taken on. He wasn't taken on the USA tour.
Oh, it's a Danny Ings.
And we played a C team against Girona last night, and he didn't even make the bench. So no one knows where he could be.
So he really, literally is missing in action alongside Danny Ings.
Yeah, basically. I mean, in Kudu maybe he was moaning for a loan, and he got one to Burnley. And he's back with us trying to prove a point.
What about some of the other? You look at some of these really good young players. Do you think Ruben Loftus-Cheek?
He should be.
Is he going to get game time at Chelsea? Or should he start moaning for a loan?
He should be more than moaning for a loan. He should be like getting a fucking megaphone and screaming for a loan.
Yeah, or even permanent transfer.
Oh, absolutely.
Didn't even make the bench today.
What is the meaning of this, Top Gun? He's a top player, potentially.
Yeah, no, but he didn't even make the bench today. It's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, this is just Chelsea in a nutshell. They have the most moan-ins for loan-ins in the history.
Don't they have a squad of about 60 players, of which 30 go out on loan?
Basically, it's outrageous, but this has got to be some kind of violation.
I'd say there is literally. I'd say who I think has the potential to be a top player, but we don't want him to become Ross Barkley, but i.e. just someone who has let their talent drift like a bad fart. I think Phil Foden, who played today for Man City in the Charity Shield,
yes.
I think if he's not going to start say, at least a dozen games this season or be on the bench for the others, I think he should moan for a loan.
Oh, absolutely.
At a lower Premiership club like, a newly promoted one like Cardiff or something like that. Because I think if he could play a full season at Premiership level, I think he would then get into Southgate's squad. And he'd probably do really well for City. Not that I support City, but he'd probably do really well for City if he had a full season under his belt for someone else.
Yeah, I mean, but he's got Fernandinho pretty much in his way, hasn't he?
Exactly. He's got Fernandinho.
What's there?
Kevin De Bruyne.
Gundogan, that's the one.
Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Gundogan. He's not going to dislodge. He's 6th or 7th choice. Fabian Delph.
Oh yeah.
He's not going to dislodge those guys yet. But he could with that talent he's got if he, gets to build it. So yeah, I think Phil Foden should be this week's moaning for a loan.
Sure, that's a very worthy title.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Phil. The trophy's on the way.
If on the off chance you're listening, Phil, and obviously by this time next week you would have no doubt played for Cardiff.
And lend us a tenner.
Yeah, you are this week's winner of moaning for it. But he hasn't been moaning for a loan, but we think he should moan for a loan.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a rant about our clubs then.
Oh yeah, the new season is nearly upon us. It seems a bit soon, to be honest.
And then you have a theory about pre-season, don't you?
Oh yes, the pre-season. Well, here is my theory, my unique take on the situation, shall we say. Pre-season is a lot like shagging your wife of 5 years. Basically, even if you don't... yeah, even if you don't perform well, you're not going to get judged for it. You're not going to get divorced. You can, then in a couple of days, you'll have another chance to rectify your poor performance.
It's not what my lawyer said.
Keep your personal life out of this, Top Gun.
Sorry.
Whereas, in sharp contrast, the Premier League is like serious porn. You're judged on your performance, you're paid on bonuses for your performance, and if you don't perform one week, you're out. You know what the fucking reserves feel like, or you'll be moaning for a loaning.
Well, you'll be Winston Bogart.
Yeah.
Now, actually, a great example of that is, do you remember Igo Aspas, who actually came on for Spain quite a few times in the World Cup?
Yeah, didn't he play for you guys for like?
He played for Liverpool for one season. In pre-season, when we brought him, he only played for one season for us. He was amazing. And him and Suarez up front, seriously, it was like, oh my God, we've got another Suarez. This guy is amazing. And in pre-season, he was being judged on that. Seriously, It was like, my God, this Spanish kid. Wow, what a bargain. He never scored. I think he scored one goal, and that was in a Carling Cup game, I think. He was abysmal. And we basically sent him on loan the next season because he was so bad, and then sold him. That was a great example of your pre-season theory.
Yes.
Igo Aspas.
Yes, I remember the season Ramos got sacked. We had an amazing preseason. We were like swatting teams 4 and 5, and then we had the worst start in a long time.
Yeah,
that was the end of Ramos.
Yeah, so many people get so many people get so excited about preseason, about great results. It's like Arsenal supporters were going mental by beating a PSG youth side more or less 5-1 the other day. Just like, Emery's just building such a great atmosphere already. And I think we're definitely going to finish top 4. It's like
that's hilarious.
What are you talking about? Okay, yeah, if at Christmas you're doing stuff like that, fair play to you. But you got to look at the reality of it at present. And at present, you're in Europa League. You don't have any money to buy the real top players because they're not going to come play in Europa League. Yeah, so he's a good manager. He may build something, but just because you've beaten PSG 5-1 in a pre-season game doesn't mean you're now going to win the league.
Yeah, it's people get carried away. I don't know if they're just starved of football or something, or the summer heat. I don't know what it is, but something has happened. Something very weird has happened with this transfer deadline shit. Because I understand them wanting to close the transfer window before the season starts. That's a good idea, but it's a good idea if everyone does it.
Yeah.
So at present,
because otherwise we're Premiership clubs. We're basically saying, look, we're going to close the window now, but we're going to now pull our trousers down for 3 weeks, and every club from outside England, basically suck the arse.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that is what is basically happening now.
Spanish clubs are laughing because their transfer window closes the latest.
Just imagine if Mo Salah. I mean, he won't because he's just signed a new contract, and Harry Kane wouldn't leave Spurs in it. He's just signed a new contract. Yeah. But imagine if that happened, if Salah and Kane both left on the 31st of August
without a replacement. Oh my God!
I mean, what would our clubs? I think our clubs will still do okay, but to lose basically your two top goal scorers in the Premiership basically last season. I mean, oh my God. The horror.
That would break me out in a cold sweat and give me some serious nightmares because Llorente is our only other senior striker, and he's not putting up trees to putting up no trees.
Son Ho-Yu-Min.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the lad.
He's good. I'd love him at Liverpool. He's a really good player.
I like him a lot, but he's not like an out-and-out striker.
No, he's a link striker, really, isn't he? Comes off the wing, doesn't he? He's like an old-fashioned inside forward.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember we played him away from home a few times, and it didn't go well. So yeah, I mean, seeing as a transfer deadline is what 4 days away and we haven't signed anyone, I am slightly
I don't
concerned.
yeah, I mean, if you don't sign anyone, and I don't think, to be honest, I don't think Spurs will, because Pochettino's more or less said that anyway.
Fuck a duck.
So if you don't sign anyone, where do you think, in all honesty, as unbiased as you can be as a Bar Spurs supporter, where do you think your club will finish this season?
If we don't sign anybody and we sell Alderweireld to fucking Man U, there will be riots, more riots in Tottenham. Sorry, I should be making jokes about that. That was real. Anyway, yeah. But apparently those riots caused us to get the stadium sorted out. So in a roundabout way, things worked out.
But you're avoiding the question.
I am avoiding the question. Let's talk about Harry Kane's new kid. Heard he's got 2 children now.
In all honesty, where do you think?
All right, if we don't sign anybody and we keep Alderweireld.
Yeah. What do you think?
I still think top 4.
What's your top 4 prediction?
I think top 4, no problem. Well, problems, but
in order. Right now, what's your top 4 prediction? In order, if no one else signs anyone from now.
Man U. Sorry, real slip of the tongue there. Man City, number 1, of course.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody dislodging them. And number 2, I'd say Liverpool.
Oh, fair play.
Invested very wisely, very early. I wish we did that. And number 3, I think we could finish 3rd. It'll be us and Man U. And if we sell them Alderweireld, then they'll finish above us. That will bite us in the ass.
I kind of agree that I don't see Chelsea or Arsenal getting back into it this season.
Nah.
They've got new managers, so I don't see it.
Nah.
I mean, being biased, I think Liverpool will win the league. I think Cardiff will finish 2nd.
Nice.
I think Brighton will finish 3rd.
Brighton.
And
my second
Newcastle will give Rafa the 4th Champions League spot, just because we can see Rafa.
He's the one I feel for, man.
Yeah.
I really feel
the
sorry
bottom
for
3 be Man United will finish bottom, Everton will finish 19th, and Chelsea will finish 18th.
Even better. Oh God. Chelsea are like the most despicable team.
You'd probably swap that for. You'd swap Everton for Arsenal, wouldn't
you? Chelsea, most despicable club in the history of the game. Where the Chelsea jersey is the modern day equivalent of a KKK hat.
It's quite extreme.
It is
Why
a little.
So extreme?
Their fans are inherently racist and incredibly smug and just nasty pieces of work, really. I know I'm indulging in sort of London petty tribalism, but I stand by all of my outspoken views.
Because you live in Spain, so you're safe.
Hey, don't give away my I'm going to have some irate Chelsea fans fucking turning up.
Yeah, but you're part of the criminal underworld in Spain.
Oh, yeah. That's...
So you're fine.
Yeah, who am I to buck tradition?
You live out in the Costa del Sol, don't you, for the rest of the
Yeah, I'm going to be a lobster before too long. Yeah.
So that's our rant about our clubs and where we think they're finished. In all seriousness, if I was to do a series top 4, if Liverpool have an injury, if Mane, Salah and Firmino stay fit the entire season, I think we'd win the league. But what are the chances of those 3 staying fit all season? Probably very low.
Yeah, I mean...
If they did, but you don't know, because you look at Leicester 2-3 years ago, and basically they had no injury. They had no one injured.
Unbelievable luck.
Yeah, and so I think if that happens, then, Leicester proved that if you have that luck, where your key players never get injured, you can win the league. And I think with our front 3, if our front 3 stay injury free and VVD at the back, Virgil van Dijk at the back, if those 4 key players can stay injury free, then I think we could win it. But it's such a big if. Yeah. And if not, yes. I mean, to be honest,
I'm a little concerned about your defensive depth. That if
Virgil van Dijk gets injured,
you haven't really got much to replace him with.
Well, Gomez, he's been playing there in pre-season, and I really rate Gomez. Matip, unfortunately, always gets injured. Devon Dejan Lovren
Hey,
in Lovren versus the world.
that's a nice segue to our next
Yeah.
next segment.
Lovren versus the world. Dejan Lovren is the self-proclaimed world's greatest defender. He is the Ivan Drago of the Premiership.
Yes, he is. What a deluded
I must
fella.
break you. If he dies, he dies.
If he dies,
You know,
he
I mean,
dies.
apparently they're going to do Rocky 7 and Lovren's going to be in it because he is not only the greatest defender, he's probably the greatest boxer in the world as well. Self-proclaimed. In Lovren versus the world.
Who is he ruffling the feathers of now after he trolled Harry Kane?
Yeah. He did do a great job. And as a Liverpool supporter, you know, I think every honest Liverpool supporter will tell you that Dejan Lovren, when he has someone who's like a talker next to him, like Virgil van Dijk, and then for Croatia, he has the ponytail Furio, Vida. There's the ponytail Furio from the Sopranos, doesn't there? There's Vida next to him, who's a talker as well. When he has talkers next to him, who are basically saying, concentrate, Dejan, for 90 minutes, he's actually a really good defender. That if he has got someone talking to him for 90 minutes, going, concentrate, he will have anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes per game where basically it just mentally disintegrates for no reason. That's all.
He has got to be the most deluded defender on this planet. He's
self-proclaimed here. Most Liverpool fans will tell you that we loved it when he self-proclaimed himself the world's greatest, one of the world's greatest defenders. But we all know
he's like a wrestler.
He's not.
If he was a wrestler, he would be like Ric Flair. He'd like go around fucking chopping people in the chest, like he sort of did in the semi-final. I remember.
He's good though. I think he gets a bad rep because he's not as bad as people make out. But he needs a top player next to him, basically. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, we'll keep a sharp eye on Lovren, and we stay tuned. Lovren versus the world.
Stay tuned for more episodes. Lovren versus the world.
And of course, he's the next his next title eliminator.
Yeah.
Is against probably against Javier Hernandez next Sunday because we play West Ham at 1:30 next Sunday. Ooh. So he's next title eliminator, the next contender. The next contender to fight Dejan Lovren, it will be Javier Hernandez. And so, though I've got a feeling he won't play, I've got a feeling Joe Gomez will play.
But, is that your first game of the season?
It is, yeah. We've got West Ham at Anfield.
That's a pretty good opener. We're away to Newcastle again.
Like to last season. At present, poor old Rafa, that's a really good opener for Newcastle.
Yeah, they're in the same mess they were last summer. They were just.
Why does Rafa stay?
I have no idea. He is the worst. Got to be one of the worst owners of all time.
I mean, Rafa could take more or less any top 4 job in any country.
Yeah,
he could because he's tactically he's one of the best managers.
Yeah, I mean anybody who can win the Champions League with Jimmy Traore
and Igor Biscan. No, Biscan didn't play in the final, but yeah. Oh yeah, I mean the scary fact is the Jimmy Traore as a Champions League winners medal.
Unreal.
And that gives me hope.
That's
I can still get a Champions League winners medal.
It's like Greece winning the Euros. I mean.
Yeah. Which was only which was the year before.
2004. Yeah, it was. And the same year Porto won the Champions League for 2004.
That's right. Yeah.
What was happening?
I know. Absolutely. A crazy 12 months that was. Greece, Porto, and then not Liverpool winning Champions League, but Liverpool winning Champions League with that. To be honest, with that squad, because it wasn't a very good squad.
It wasn't. Stevie G was in the Rovers form.
Oh, Stevie G and Stevie G and Xabi Alonso.
Oh.
Man, midfield was good, but I mean, Jesus.
Okay, Top Gun, we've covered much ground in our inaugural episode.
Yes.
And I'll stop talking like a 90s, 50s announcer.
Yeah.
On that note, Top Gun, anything you want to add before we call this a day?
Well, yeah, I think the 2 people who are listening back, which will be you and me, thank ourselves for listening. Yeah. We'll have miles more to talk about. And of course, the next Of course, there will be the return in Moaning for a Loaning.
Oh yes.
The
Well, the
Brendan
transfer
Gilf's
window.
America.
Yeah.
We will be checking in on Wayne on Wazza and seeing how he's doing in America, MILF and Granny wise and scoring wise.
Yeah.
Literally, there will be the return in Moaning for a Loaning.
Oh yes.
The
Well, the
Brendan
transfer
Gilf's
window.
America.
Yeah.
We will be checking in on Wayne on Wazza and seeing how he's doing in America, MILF and Granny wise and scoring wise.
Yeah.
Literally.
He's scaring.
And of course, we'll see who Jose the Destroyer has beheaded.
Yes, he's on the warpath even, and
we'll also be checking in on the title eliminator of Lovren versus the World.
And we'll interview the kids in America who have been scarred by the ugly mug of Wayne Rooney.
Good on.
And on that fucked up note,
that note, man, we're just going to get sued a lot here.
Yeah, well,
yeah. Luckily, that's why we're using false names.
Indeed, and I do not live in Spain. That's a rumor.
No, you live in the Isle of Wight.
Even better.
Full of web-feeted people, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Better.
Ding 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 ding. Like Deliverance out there.
Exactly, without the suspense.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so I'll leave it to you. Thank you very much for inviting me on to the show, Creative Hustler.
You're welcome, Top Gun with a double N. And until next time, take it sleazy and don't do needle drugs. Ciao for now.